Hello and welcome to This Week in Frax. Got the whole team here. Dave is joining us from the Polycule in Zuzalu.
Yes, I escaped the I self-exiled myself from the Polycule network stage just to be here.
Yeah. And Dave gave a talk today. How did
Yes,
that
I
go?
did.
Oh,
Yeah, I did. I did my evangelizing of Frax here in Montenegro. I actually did a panel about almost a week and a half ago with the My Guys,
Mhm.
and that's when I first arrived here. But then I was talking to Sam, and I was thinking a bit, and I've been to a few workshops. I was like, I should do something a little bit more personal and detailed, and really get this idea of stablecoin maximalism and attaching Frax to the idea of stablecoin maximalism out there. So I basically did my own version of Sam's talk about how everything it's about stablecoin maximalism and how on a long enough time scale every DeFi protocol becomes a stablecoin. And in order for those stablecoins to succeed at scale, they'll have to adapt this universal structure that you've noticed throughout all stablecoins. So yeah, I'll put up the slides soon. If you really want to see it, it's basically Sam's speech. But it was pretty cool. Like I planned it over the past few days. I invited we had a crowd of 30 people and 30,
wow.
yeah. And it's not just like a regular 30 people. Like these 30 people are like really into their shit, whether they're like really into ZK stuff, really into DeFi, really into like at funds, this and that. So like it was like definitely like the right audience to hear about stablecoin maximalism and attaching Frax through it to it. And I felt like I knocked it out the park. Like we'll definitely get the audio of it up at some point. We'll have like people like make a really cool edit of it and whatnot. I think like the biggest highlight of that talk was I have my same script when I explain what an AMO is in Kit. Sam, I'm sure you like
Mhm.
probably memorized it at this point. But people are like, what exactly is an AMO? Like, can you like describe it? Like, what do you
I
mean?
see.
And so I had to go in like further detail. So like I just got OMOs of like, oh, in 2008, the Federal Reserve took action
Nice.
buying a bunch of
Yeah.
junk bonds. And so like, in 2022, Frax took a bunch of action buying a bunch of FXS in June so like,
Yeah.
that was like,
How's the feedback?
um, yeah, I've got feedback. It was really good, very positive feedback. I think I've etched monetary premium and stablecoin maximalism in everyone's brain that was there. So success. I got several messages from my like Telegram. I was like, who messaged me? And I ended up talking to them after. And I'm really satisfied with like how I presented and the reception I've received. And I think it's gotten people a little bit more comfortable with stablecoins because, as we know, it's pretty hard to understand. So that's why that's why we
Mhm.
started Flywheel. So I think that's probably like the most important contribution I did on behalf of Frax and Flywheel here. Yeah. And also I was on a Twitter space today with Wombex with like 2,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They asked me to be on a Twitter space and representing Frax. And now I'm gonna be on like Twitter spaces representing Frax. And like, what should we call you? I'm like, core contributor. And they're like, sure. It's not
Nice.
wrong. Yeah. So that was fun. So doing my I was talking to Sam. He's like, "You're like Jesus." I'm like, "No, you're Jesus. I'm John the Baptist. I'm just the first follower. I'm just the first
Yeah.
follower." Yeah. So yeah, it's been fun here.
Where is
I like
Wombex?
some BNB and Arbitrum.
Oh,
They
right.
just it was a huge event. Like they had all the Arbitrum press there. Like it made me think like Arbitrum has like a thriving media ecosystem and stuff. They had like 6 different like Arbitrum Daily, Arbitrum this, Arbitrum that.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah, but yeah, Zuzalu is interesting. It's AI week, and God, these people are so fucking smart. I feel it's crazy. It's like, yeah, I'm playing my little crypto game, or we're playing our little games over here. Meanwhile, like, the ultimate personal assistant. It's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting about the Arbitrum stuff. We talked about that this morning on Leviathan about like why is Arbitrum winning over everybody else? And I mean, they got a really nice ecosystem there, and Fraxland is supposedly going to be deployed at some point,
Allegedly.
allegedly, with a
Someone call Drake.
yeah, called Drake. Yeah,
Get him on right now.
I don't know what I mean. Like, I'm sure there's some like developer stuff going on, but it should be relatively simple to deploy the contract to Arbitrum and like add the Magic and GMAX tokens there. That would be huge
Yeah.
for Frax.
As long as they have Chainlink oracles. It's good, and it sounds like they do.
But then again, like as time goes on, I've come to understand that Frax just keeps getting more conservative as time goes on, and
Yeah.
there's all these like hot L2s, like alt L1s, and in the wake of the whole Moonbeam crisis, maybe it's just better to sit on ETH and chill. And
What was the Moonbeam crisis again?
oh, not the Moonbeam crisis, it was the Harmony. Sorry, not Moonbeam, but Harmony.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Harmony hack. Yeah.
I think it just takes proper due diligence of these chains. And like, yeah, before it was like, let's be everywhere. But then it was like, oh wait, like the Harmony isn't redeemable anymore. But I still think we should be open to new chains. Like
Mhm.
I'm a bit, hell, there's a new ZK EVM coming out that's called Linea, that's backed by consensus.
Mm.
And that sounds really interesting. Yeah. So what's interesting about why I say this and why I find it interesting is it will have all the tooling that comes with consensus. So it'll have like Infura and Truffle, like the basic building blocks of an infra of a blockchain. It will have out the box, which is a huge advantage. MetaMask, so.
Well, is it? I guess we'll find out in the next year, like how quickly Frax is going to expand outside of ETH. I mean, maybe
I
it
want
just
to.
doesn't.
I
Maybe it
want to see
doesn't.
them on. I want to see them on Bearer chain.
That would be nice.
We
But
need Frax. Yeah.
Yeah, for now it's just the ferries that people can take their own money over. But it's not like the protocols. Maybe that's just the team size. Maybe they need like a cross-chain person. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. Still early stages.
I mean, we already kind of see that with FrxETH and kind of FrxETH floating around, right? That 9 to 11% every week that I talk about that is in the ether.
Mhm.
Like it's finding its way literally to almost every crevice and every chain, right? Like in Sam's article, like perfectly highlighted that.
Yeah.
The people are chain curious, like they are
Curious, you say.
chain agnostic, so they definitely want to go everywhere.
Where there's yield, there will be degens.
Exactly. I've kind of figured it out as well too at this point that the primary goal I think that they're working towards as fast as possible is to remove themselves from the core functionality of the protocol as fast as like in as safe and as fast as possible, and then also to transition over to the new Frax v3 structure, and then also the FrxETH v2 structure, which will completely and allow for completely trustless FrxETH issuance. So, but once those two things are done, I mean, I think the whole narrative around the protocol changes, and you're starting to see this today in the chat. We got some new announcements by Travis, who was talking about, or he posted a picture of BAMM.
The most Travis fashion drop of alpha. No context, completely out of pocket. Just literally Frax Finance, bam.
Yeah.
And like bam, 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 bam. I like literally said right before this, I'm like, oh, I gotta like go tweet this out for the people.
Let's see if I can do an overlay. Let's see if I can overlay this. There we go.
Bam,
Bam.
bam.
This was in chat today. Travis just dropped this, and apparently we'll get some. They're working on the code. He said,
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so Travis said,
yeah,
Travis, yeah, this is the borrow AMM. So Travis said that this will be ready. The code will be ready in about 2 to 4 months, and then usually the audits take about like another 2 to 3 months. So maybe in quarter 4, by the end of the year, we'll see the BAMM. And then he dropped some other information that the Frax governance platform, or modular, whatever you want to call it, is expected to be audited this month, and they're working on BAMM and FrxETH v2 right now.
I'm really excited for BAMM.
I'm really excited for the governance and FrxETH v2 because you know how it works, where there's always one person from the multisig who is left behind, right? We can't all meet up, even at the best conferences. So with the new governance thing, it'll finally offload all of the multisig responsibilities. And I think that'll take a big weight off the team's chest when it comes to like decentralization and just the platform running on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I also want to throw a third thing that I am excited about. And initially I was against this, but thinking about it, I'm no longer, I've switched camp, is we are inching closer and closer to the 100% collateralization ratio. And and
Whoa.
and hold on. Let me say why. And because yesterday I was kind of watching, the crvUSD and FXS in the markets, and obviously curve rallied first, and then once everybody saw that, oh my god, as FrxETH was the collateral, capital flew into FXS. But throughout the day, by the end of the day, all that capital that went into FXS pretty much just sold it right off and retraced back to where the level was prior, whereas CRV actually held on a bit. And I'm thinking, is like, do people, whenever there's a pop, they play for the pop, but then they never hold and never kind of stay. And I think it's because there's this like lack of confidence in this 5% or so that we kind of don't have, that Sam is showing right now on screen. Like I feel like once we get that 100% collateralization ratio, people are just like, oh, okay, like it's solid. Everything is there. There's no more question about what about that 5% is going to run us. And yeah, I think
Really?
it's just an easier narrative at that point, right? Every Frax is back. Like
Yeah.
it just sounds a lot better.
Frax is back. Yeah.
Well, and also all the revenue that we're using right now to get back up to 100% will go towards VFX again.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, true.
I know something we should talk about. The debate in the chat
Yeah.
about
Great debate.
VEFXS rewards. Should it stay in FXS? Should it be in Frax, or should it be in FrxETH? I know how I feel about it, but a little bit of a summary. Quite a few community members thought it should stay in FXS. They believe it's like the equivalent of equity. They like the idea of buybacks and the idea of just like one step relocking, restaking, blah blah blah. I'm not sure how you guys feel. I personally want to see it. My rewards in FrxETH.
Yes, but no. No, I wouldn't want to see that. Just primarily for tax reasons. I understand the case. You've created Frax shares becomes like a pass through for the FrxETH, and you get FrxETH. But typically, if you're the protocol, just buy back your own token and distribute it. It's the same thing. There's no difference between like buying back and distributing it that way. Is roughly the same as having a dividend. It's just better from a tax perspective.
How so?
Well, if I deposit money into VFXS, I'm getting like a yield, right? The yield, but the primary profits that the protocol is making is going to purchase Frax shares. So I don't actually have to go out and purchase Frax shares. Like instead of so instead of getting
it's like you think of it as like a constant DCA into Frax shares.
Exactly. And also like
I understand that argument.
Yeah, from like a tax perspective, it's just much better to get long-term capital gains. Like you put fractures in, you wait 4 years, you pull it out, and you have like very low capital gains. Dividend income is income, right? You're going to pay 30, 40, 50% depending on where you live.
Okay,
so VFSS gets paid out in FXS, right? Like the yield on there that we see is just, you just pull out more FXS at the end of 4 years.
Yeah, but it's only like 1% right now, I think, is what the VFXS yield is.
Yeah, it's quite low.
Yeah. So I'm just checking right now. So it's with a max 3 or 4 year lock, it's 1.7%.
And that 1.7% is paid in FXS.
Yes. Yeah. So the protocol buys back FXS and distributes it. It makes sense because I don't know if you guys remember in the first 6 months of the protocol, we were buying back and burning half, I believe.
Yeah. And then 1559, right?
Yeah. No, this is before 1559.
This was FXS's version of 1559.
Yeah. So for the first 6 months, we were buying back and burning, but I think it just made more sense. Like if you're a long-term supporter of Frax, like why are we burning when we could just distribute it back to like you're rewarding a specific set of stakers who are locking for a long term versus rewarding everyone. So like burns kind of like benefit the whole when you want to incentivize this one group to lock up. But I think we're going to see is like once we get up to like 1 million FrxETH, I think VFXS is going to take a big seat at the table again. So the VFX, I'm going to pull this back up. So the VFX supply has been pretty much kind of dwindling, right? We peaked out at 100 million VFXS, and it's been kind of trending downwards ever since then. And if we look at Frax shares lock, it's been pretty much flat since February of 2022. So no one really is locking up more Frax shares at this point. And what I think it probably has to do with is the lack of a good yield on VFXS, and you can probably just hold Frax shares now and get a better yield other places. But once we go to 100%, all that income, especially from the FrxETH revenues that we have, will go towards VFXS, and that's just going to get bigger and bigger as we absorb more.
Yeah, I was going to say I like support FrxETH to be distributed because one, it in turn benefits. It causes more FrxETH to be like locked in the system. It has more. It indirectly benefits FXS because it VEFXS blah blah blah. You get the system, and I just want to like stack ETH. I want to stack ETH. And like I'm like concerned about like front runners on like FXS because they anticipate a big buyback, and they buy and they sell, and it seems to have this like different an unintended consequence. One thing I'm really looking forward to with VEFXS, and Sam mentioned this, is favorable interest rate to VEFXS stakers. I think that would be really interesting. Like lock your FXS and like get interest-free loans. Like fuck yeah, let's do that. That's really powerful. Like bank at Frax.
Well, look at this. So I'm looking at the VEFXS estimated yield per week right now. So it's $60,000 of yield going to Frax shares or stake Frax shares or lock Frax shares at the moment. The 8%. So assuming we get to 1 million ETH by the end of the year, which I think is going to happen, right? As kind of the base case, we're going to earn as a protocol 5,600 ETH as income from that. And that's about $10 million a year that the Frax protocol will be able to distribute back to VFXS if it wants to. So on a monthly basis, that's $850,000. And on a weekly basis, that's $210,000. So when the yield goes from 60,000 to 250,000, the VEFX yield is going to go from like 1.71 where it is right now to like 10%. And I think at that point you start to see more people coming in and staking Frax shares again.
Look at GMX distributing an ETH. That makes the case for it. People like that ETH. People like that ETH yield.
Yeah, but I think it's a bad. Well, okay. So once we get to 100%, maybe it makes sense to do that. But before we get to 100%, it makes no sense because we still need to maintain the value, the perceived value of Frax shares.
Okay, I can buy that.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah. I don't know. I just for like, if, look at all the big tech stocks, right? Apple doesn't distribute a dividend. Amazon doesn't have a dividend, do they? They just buy back. They just use all their excess profits to buy back their stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want to pay tax. I just don't want like huge taxes, right?
Don't claim.
I mean, come on. Look, but here's the thing is that like, if I don't know, but I can understand, but the contract for maybe I was just thinking about the only problem with VFXS is that it doesn't allow you to like borrow against the position. So I don't know. I'd rather just see buybacks. It creates more demand in Frax swap, and you're distributing more Frax shares to people who want it inside of the VFXS contract.
We can talk again at 100%.
I know.
What's the next topic?
Stake FrxETH again. crvUSD launched this week. We had a great live stream yesterday with the whole Flywheel team plus Curve Market Cap
and Drake.
The whole
DeFi
team
advisor.
Yeah, and DeFi advisor. It was a whole team takeover.
Sam had technical difficulties though.
Was there any
Yeah,
buzz
that
in?
was the rug.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Was there any buzz in Zuzalu for crvUSD?
I was the one
No.
buzzing about crvUSD. I was the I am the buzz for crvUSD. I'm like, guys, look, dude,
But
it's
no one cared,
really
really.
people are like hungry for DeFi, but they don't know where to start.
Are they?
What does that
There's like
mean?
crypto people. Like there's some crypto people here, some DeFi, but like up at this, like the ZK people are interested in DeFi, but they're in like ZK land doing like advanced cryptography. And like when I talk about stable coins, it's like they're like, whoa, this is kind of like over my head. But when they go talk about ZK stuff, I'm like, whoa, this is really over my head. So it's like everyone's in their different domains. I'm like it's me and the My Finance guys, the Shidao guys. We're holding it down for DeFi.
And David from
And David's like a generalist now, though.
is he?
I mean, like he's doing a lot of AI interviews. Like the way
Yeah.
Bankless has evolved is doing like I mean, I respect it. I mean, there's a ton of AI stuff now.
Dave, for folks that don't know what is a Zuzalu and why are you there?
I don't know why I'm here. Zuzalu is a 2-month pop-up city off the coast of Montenegro that was organized by Vitalik and his friends and people and like around him, and he basically takes his special interests from longevity to ZK tech to AI to everything in between, a little bit of crypto here and there. And he brought like all the like top experts in all these fields together. And like every week it's like ZK week or AI week or that's it. It's a pop-up city. Right now it's like AI and crypto, but more they had a public goods week. And so it's really interesting to have like all these different like groups of people together. And like longevity people like the highlight of my time here has been when we went on a rafting trip and us crypto people beat the longevity people in ultimate frisbee. These guys were so in shape and like they look so healthy. And like I'm just like, guys, we're less tired than they are. We're less tired than they are. I don't know. You know, I channeled my inner high school, college day to dominate at ultimate frisbee. Been doing a lot of cold plunging, bonding in the sauna. It's really amazing because you like really don't know. Everyone here is so humble and like they kind of recognize that, wow, like everyone around here is a gigabrain. I must be inadequate, me included. But then you're sitting next to somebody in the sauna that like wait, you find out later like wait, you did what? Or wait, you founded what? And so how I ended up here was I had some friends that were here like told me about it and I heard about it, but I didn't want to do like the 2-month residency. But I saw that you could visit for a week, and I'm just like, I might as well apply. Like it's fucking Vitalik Bilderberg. And so like I applied, I got it for the network state week because I'm like a big networks. I'm interested. I'm not a fan of the network state per se, but I'm interested in the concept of the network state. It's really cool to see all these different experiments happening. Like probably the biggest leading candidate for the closest thing to a network state is called Afropolitan. It's like a network state of the African diaspora. It's really interesting. So it's cool to see stuff like that. And I saw Balaji talk, and what's really fascinates me is like you have this like impending doom, kind of like whether it's like Balaji thinking like the world's gonna end, economic collapse, fourth bank failing in the past 55 days, blah blah blah. Then you have like the AI people like really concerned about alignment. But at the end of the day, everyone's just like chilling. Everyone's all good. Everyone's like going hiking. Everyone's going rock climbing, going to the exploring, working out. Like people are just going to be people. And I think the one thing I really like about it is how social it is here. And you realize, I mean, how we're on like our screens for so long. It's nice to like put your head up and realize that the world's bigger than Twitter, or the world's bigger than Telegram.
Yeah. What's your views on AI alignment is it a thing?
I don't know enough about it to talk about it, to be honest. I'm not an expert. I mean, like, I should look into it. I guess, like, before I came here, I was talking to somebody who, like, He's like sold like a company for $75 million in AI. It's like talking to him about it. Because I don't know how to really use AI to my own benefit yet. Like I sometimes use ChatGPT, but I don't feel like I incorporate it in my workflows. But he was like, and I'm like, oh, I'm afraid it's going to make me lose my humanness. And he's like, oh, like, that's like, don't be afraid. Like, honestly, like you can actually use it. You can use it to your advantage. Like, you have a philosophy background. Like it could be like, it's just think of it as like an extension of yourself, like your best personal assistant. And like, I think it's just like one of those things that you just have to like start. I don't know. Like, do you guys use AI? Like, have you used AI to like edit your articles or like edit your shit? Yeah, kid has.
100%.
Yeah, but yeah, of course. But like the question is like, is there a are we going to create an AI that like kills us all?
I don't think it will kill. No, I don't think that's the case. I mean, if anything, I think it like takes the mantle of novelty and evolution, and we kind of get left behind. But and like maybe we merge with AI. But I don't think it kills us all. I said that so casually.
Casually, yeah. I
We
don't
just
think
become one.
Yeah, I'm not really
Singularity.
look. I'm. You can always buy a farm and get off the grid if you want to.
Easier said than done.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Go buy a farm.
I
You want a
mean,
Flywheel farm? We'll have.
Yeah.
But wait, kid, you're actually on a
I have
farm.
he is
I
on
was
a
gonna
farm.
say, I was like, I did it. It's pretty easy.
Okay, fine. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to
Yeah,
Frax.
we
What
got
else is
like.
happening this week?
So again, crvUSD launch, stake FrxETH is collateral. crvUSD actually had to relaunch the contracts 3 times. Imagine if Frax was doing that. Like I feel that like Frax deploys once and there's so
I feel like Frax would get so much shit from like fucking who.
Oh, like Monet Supply and
No, well,
token.
no. Well, but Monet Supply has been nicer. Monet Supply has come around.
Okay.
He's like, I really like the Fraxlink contracts, but yeah, fucking what? Damn, why are people so salty, man? Why do people like beef?
I don't know. Nothing better to do when you're stuck in front of a computer all day.
Exactly. Go touch
What
grass.
beef are we talking about?
He was like, Token Bryce tweeted like, oh, it's over for crvUSD, like for blah blah blah. I'm just all right, dude. Come on, just wait till V2. Like,
yeah, exactly.
if
Like,
you have to like bring yourself up, your protocol up by tearing another protocol down like this early, I mean, come on.
I know, and you know what? Sam talked about it in chat because he was asked. He was like, why is everybody so salty to Frax? Like, what is this like stuff from Token Brights, Monet Supply, whatever? And Sam essentially said like, haters are always going to hate, but Frax is really zen about this stuff.
Positive sun.
Yeah, he's like, it doesn't really matter. We're still going to incentivize the LUSD Frax base pool, even though the liquidity guys talk badly of Frax. They're still going to incentivize the FrxETH, Rocket Pool ETH, Curve Pool, even though Rocket Pool calls this a scam and misleads their people by saying they're fully decentralized when really they have a multi-sig that controls everything. And so Sam just says it goes to show that we're genuine and not doing for the goodwill. We do believe in lifting everyone up, even our detractors. So,
amen.
It's the only way to go. Kill them with love. Kill them with kindness.
Welcome them in with open arms.
Yeah.
They all come around eventually.
There wasn't any other governance proposals really, and a big week for announcements, but slow week for governance. Kind of a flip of last week. But that drama in chat about the token payouts, also something maybe that changes later on.
We'll see.
But for now, everything is looking great. Protocol's looking great. It's nice to see the integration of stake FrxETH and
bam.
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 And make sure you bam that like button and bam that bell button so you get all the notifications for Flywheel. Bam, subscribe, leave us a comment. Wait, Sam, did I cut you off?
No, I was just gonna say exactly that.
Okay, let me continue.
Keep going.
Make sure you bam, follow us on Twitter at Flywheel DeFi, Telegram Flywheel DeFi. Follow me on Twitter at DeFiDave22.
Follow me at 0xcapital_K.
And I'm at traders_insight. And this is This Week in Frax. We'll be back next Friday with another episode.
And subscribe.
Yeah.
FlywheelUpIt.com.
Exactly.
See you later.
Peace.
Bye.